Ever feel like your trading strategy, the one you trusted, just stopped working? What if the very patterns you learned to rely on are now being turned into weapons and used against you?
Around 70% of the market isn't even human anymore. It's cold, calculating AI hunting for predictable behavior.
They aren't predicting the market, they're predicting where YOU put your stop loss. You're not the trader, you're the fuel. In this market, you are the liquidity. The game has changed. The question is, have you?
You ever have that feeling where your trading strategy, the one that you trusted, just stops working? What if I told you the very chart patterns you learned to rely on are now being turned into weapons and used against you? We need to talk about this, because this isn't some far-off theory. This is the new reality of the market.
It all starts with that sinking feeling every trader knows. You see it right there on the chart. A perfect setup, a classic pattern that's practically screaming buy. But the second you get in, it all goes wrong. So let's get into why those reliable old charts are starting to feel like they're flat out lying to you.
Okay, let's break this down. Take a look at the left. That's the perfect bull flag, right out of the textbook. It's clean, it's predictable, it's what we were all taught to look for. But now, look to the right. This is the reality today. The pattern starts the same, it draws you in, and then boom, a sharp dive right where all those little red stop signs are. That's where traders like you get kicked out of the trade. The algorithm is literally pushing the price down to trigger your stops before it finally moves in the direction you predicted.
Look, this isn't just a string of bad luck. It's a fundamental change in the market itself. As this quote from Binance Square points out, the game has completely changed. Your predictability, your knowledge of these classic patterns has actually become a weakness. It's a signal that something new is running the show from behind the curtain.
So who or what is pulling the strings here? Well, it isn't some person in an office or a single hedge fund. We're talking about the new apex predators of the market. These incredibly sophisticated, invisible AI systems that are now the dominant force. And they're out there hunting for predictable behavior.
Just let this number sink in for a minute. Around 70%. 70% of all trading volume is now started by algorithms. Pause and really think about that. The vast majority of the market isn't even human anymore. It's machine. You're not just trading against other people's gut feelings. You're trading against cold, calculating, high-speed systems.
And these aren't just simple little bots running basic commands. No, we are talking about high-frequency trading systems, HFTs. These are algorithms built for one thing and one thing only: speed. They operate in microseconds, exploiting tiny little price gaps that a human trader would never even see, much less be able to react to.
This really puts the mismatch into perspective, doesn't it?
As human traders, we're emotional, we're biased, we're kind of slow, and we can only process so much information at once. But an AI system, it has zero emotion, it is purely data-driven, it can chew through petabytes of news, social media chatter, everything, and execute trades in nanoseconds. It's not even playing the same sport.
So how exactly do these systems use your own strategy against you? Well, it all boils down to something we'll call the liquidity trap. See, they aren't trying to predict where the market is going. They're predicting where you are going.
So how does this hunt actually work? Let's walk through it, step by step. First, the AI scans for the same patterns you do, your flags, your head and shoulders. It knows exactly where you're thinking about getting in. Step 2, and this is the critical part, it predicts where you're going to place your stop loss. It knows we all put them just below support or just above resistance. Third, it engineers what's called a stop hunt. It executes a massive blast of trades to shove the price just far enough to trigger that big pool of stops. And finally, when your stop loss gets hit, you're forced to sell. That huge wave of sell orders is the exact liquidity the algorithm needs to fill its own giant buy order at a discount. You didn't just lose the trade. You became the fuel for their winning one.
And believe it or not, it gets worse. They literally have an inside track. You might have heard of something called payment for order flow. Basically, some brokers sell your trading data to huge Wall Street firms. This means those firms see your order before it even gets to the market. It gives them a massive advantage, a roadmap to where all the retail money is and exactly how to trade against it.
So this is the thing you have to understand. That tool you were taught was your most important form of protection, your stop loss. It isn't just protection anymore. In this market, your stop loss is a big, glowing target on your back. It's the very thing that makes you the prey.
This new reality means that the old logic, the rules of thumb that govern trading for decades, they just don't really work the same way. It's time for a pretty big shift in how we think about the market.
Look at your last losing trade for a second. Chances are you were trying to outthink other people, right? Trying to anticipate their fear or their greed. But that's not the game anymore. The game is human psychology versus machine logic. And AI doesn't see a bull flag and feel optimistic. It sees a predictable map of human behavior, a blueprint showing exactly where the money, the liquidity, is going to be.
So, does this all mean technical analysis is dead? No, absolutely not. But its job has totally changed. The old way was using patterns to try and predict the future. The new way is using those same patterns to understand where the algorithmic traps are probably being set. It's a tool you use alongside what the machines are seeing, not as a standalone crystal ball.
Okay, I know this can sound pretty discouraging. So what can you actually do? This isn't about just giving up. It's about adapting. It's about finding the new edge in a world run by machines.
All right, so how do we adapt? First, you've got to shift your focus from just seeing patterns to seeing liquidity. Before you ever place a trade, you have to ask, where are the stops? Where's the trap? Second, stop trying to trade the obvious breakout. Instead, wait. Wait for the trap to spring on everyone else, and then trade the powerful reversal that often happens right after. And third, and this is maybe the most important part, you have to use AI to fight AI.
The good news is, you don't have to go it alone. There are amazing modern tools that can help level the playing field, to help you see the market like an algorithm does. You've got platforms like TrendSpider that can automatically spot the patterns the algos are looking for. You've got others like Trade Ideas that use their own AI to find setups. The whole point is to use these tools to get a peek inside the machine's brain.
And all of this brings us to the most important point of all. The rise of AI isn't the end of the road for the retail trader. Not at all. It's an opportunity for us to evolve.
The goal isn't to try and outsmart the machines. You can't. The goal is to partner with them. This quote here says it all perfectly. The future is not man versus machine. The future is man with a machine. It's about using these incredible tools to upgrade our own intuition and our own judgment.
Just understanding how these systems work is your single biggest advantage. It takes you from being the prey, from being the liquidity, and it makes you an informed player who understands the hunt. You get the new rules of the game. It doesn't mean there's no risk, but it means you actually have a fighting chance.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We've seen how algorithms and AI have completely rewritten the playbook for the market. The game has, without a doubt, changed. The only real question left is, have you?
Secure your edge. Click subscribe to master the professional side of the trade.